He's an excitable horse. His old Vic, they can be a little bit hot, you know, and he's a little bit like that. But the first, we had him in training for 2 seasons, and he had a run each season, like, you know, so we tried to be as careful as we could be. We couldn't be much more careful with him, but he's definitely gone the right way now, and he jumps fences really well.
Tony McCoy clearly keen just to drop, don't push it out in the early stages. He's one of the back markers. Me Blur leads at fence number 1. Don't push it, jumped 5 foot too high there.
I don't know why he did that really. It was just out of the blue really, but I hope...
I suppose he didn't have any cut. They were only going steady, weren't they?
Yeah, going steady. He went down to the first and he really did give us some height. But as the race went on, he really warmed up, and you'd love the way he came up the straight and jumped well. And you know, he's a very genuine horse. Like, he'll go there with a life chance.
What prompted you to go to the Arkle rather than up to 3 miles? Was it the way Denman won at Newbury, or...?
That had a bit. I was disappointed that he got beat with Denman, to be honest with you. I thought he'd win at Cheltenham, you know, and Denman kind of went away from him in the end, and I was a bit disappointed. I couldn't really quite work it out, but as time has gone on, we've seen how good Denman is. You know, he's a real good stayer, you know, and a great leper. He's a very good horse. I'd say Arkle probably. He's a lot of pace, he's great travelling, a lot of speed, and I think it's going faster in the Arkle will suit him. You know, going a good pace, he'll jump better, and I think he'll put up a good show. He's in great form. He won a couple of bumpers last year, and then he ran a little bit disappointing in the 2 major bumpers at Cheltenham and Aintree. But he was only a young horse really, and needed a little bit of time. He's taken to the jumping really well, and he hasn't done much wrong this time. When he got beat at Cheltenham, he came back, and I wouldn't be making excuses for him, but he wasn't just 100%. His
behind the scene,
a little bit starey in his coat and things like that, but he's come back well, and he's in good form now, you know, so you'd be looking forward to him going.
What do you think you do with him? Do you think you go for the Sun Alliance or the Brit Insurance?
No, he'd go for the Brit Insurance, I'd say. He's a good stayer, he jumps well, you know, he'd take a good horse to beat him, hopefully. And
he looked well coming up the gallops, so really...
Yeah, he's a bit, you know, he doesn't do anything flashy, but he covers ground and he goes well. He's a really nice horse to have now. He's a very honest horse, and he's only ran the twice. He's done nothing wrong, obviously, and gave the penalty the other day. He gave a stone to the second horse, you know, so you'd be delighted with him, really. Look, he's not, he's just a big striding galloper, you know. He's hard to weigh up when you get him on the track, because at home he just walks away as a normal horse, really, but I think when he gets on the track, you know, he has a bit of room and he moves and he does everything really well. You'd be looking forward to him. Little bit nervous about up and down the hills and around the corners and that, because he's such a big action horse really, and you know yourself, it can be a real rough race, you know. If he gets to run the race and things go right, he'll be there or thereabouts, you know. He's straightforward enough really, just give him a change, you know. So sometimes we take him off for a walk away around the farms and just middle around with him. He hasn't been doing much, and he'll get stuck in now and start doing a bit.
I remember you being interviewed after you won the Paddy Power, and you said what a brilliant ride AP gave him, but as it turned out, any of us were on because he had about 2 stone in hand, didn't he? But I mean, can you believe how much he's improved?
No, I mean, he has improved out of our proportion really. We always thought he was a decent horse, but he was such a character of a horse. Like, Ruby rode him one day at Cheltenham, and he dropped himself right out as well, you know, and he ran on. Then when he was coming down the hill, he ran on to 4th or 5th or something like that, you know. He's always got the ability, he was just getting it out of him, you know. And when he was a novice, and he won his novice, and then he went to Sandown, and he fell at the first, and he fractured his pelvis, so he was off for the season. And I'd say he's a big horse, look, and he was just taking time. He's still a young horse, like, you know, and he maybe just hadn't matured properly, and that's why he was a bit funny, you know. But he's gone the right way this time now, so hopefully he keeps going the same way until he comes to Cheltenham anyway.
Is Cato Star beatable?
I'm sure every horse is beatable really, but I mean, he is the horse we've all got to beat really. He's a bloody superstar, isn't he? You know? I know he makes mistakes, but he's getting clever at it. I'd say he'd lose a jockey now rather than fall, you know. He's that clever really. Like, he knows what he's doing. and he's one of the most exciting horses we've had for a long time, like, you know. Jonjo was riding him yesterday.
With 11 winners already on the board, don't be fooled into thinking life has always been a bed of roses.
How was it for you a couple of years ago, was it 3 years ago, when you had that awful year, the virus, and there was talk even that someone else might come here? That must have been terrible, because I suppose there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Well, at the time I wish somebody had came. You know?
Well, the rumours, was there ever a time when you nearly did stay right?
Well, it wasn't up to me. I wasn't saying anything. I was never going. They have to carry me out in the box, I think. But a lot of people would like me out here, probably. You know,
well, you know what people like to write people off very quickly, don't they?
Yeah. But it's just like the horses, they build them up. It's like poor old Blackjack, and they got beat the other day. They're all trying to knock him down. Well, touch wood, he's in grand form and everything is good with him. But that's life, you know. And
just tell us about the other day of the story when there was a lad at the bottom of the gallop, and you said, "Come on, give that horse a bit of your head. Go on, give him his head."
Yeah, it was one of the horses that were messing going on to the gallop, you know, and they just shouted to the lad out the jeep to, you know, let his head go, just give him a bit of rope, you know, and let him go, you see. And one of the girls was following him up, and when they pulled up at the top, she said to him, "What did they say to you at the bottom?" And he said, "Just let his head go," you see. I said, well, what would they know about riding horses? They're always in the jeep.
Deflates the what would you know about horses? But no, you must be. You're looking forward to Cheltenham, Jonjo.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. Just if we can keep them in the same form they're in now. But as you know, yourself the next couple of weeks is important. Yeah, it's nervous time, and you know, we're really excited about it. Cheltenham is Cheltenham, and it's just magic to get there, and hopefully, you know, you go there with a few chances, and if you get one winner, you know, you're happy really. So, looking forward to it big time.